Hi everyone, I'm Kayleen Pendarvis, and today we have a murder mystery that we are going to review. And the title is called Old George Road. I gotta do it. Alright, so I'm gonna find myself on the Old George Road. I'm gonna fly till I can't no more. I'm sorry, I had to do it. I had to, Cheryl. Alright, now the author's name is Cheryl Nugent. Hi Cheryl, let's dive into this, okay? Now, on this cover, I expected to see and experience happiness in this book based on just how the cover is laid out. All the flowers, the house, the random person here that's walking, and then we have a cute little dog down here in the corner, and just all of the greenery. And of course, the greenery is ubiquitous, and the color green has a more of a calming effect. Now, on the flip side, green means jealousy, so I'm not so sure about the happiness aspect in this book. And when I first saw that, more or less the details on the back suggest otherwise. So I really love the cover design, and it's one of the best I've seen yet. And actually this cover and the cover your sequel, Cheryl, was actually pretty ingenious. Now, for anyone wanting to know, this is what they call Chinese brush painting, and it's by an artist by the name of Kathy Bonham. And my gosh, I just love it. It's glossy, it's fun, it's just everything. Okay, now the author mentions here on the back in the description, she has kind of like a bit of a spoiler just for me. Now, my initial thought is that the first two paragraphs were enough. Now, there are a total of 265 pages, and of course the interior as well is very professional. I wrote in that a little bit here, but just to show you that. Now, just going back to the back, I just want to read here briefly. Now, Chief of Police Bull Campbell and his new deputy, a decorated former Marine. Now, the only discrepancy I found here initially is that Terry's name needed to be mentioned in here in this description as well, because he is one of those main characters. Now, going back to the protagonist, in general, Terry Kramer, he is more like a gentle husband. He's just one of those marrying types, and of course he's actually married in the book as well. And then we have hot-headed, over the top Bull Campbell, who happens to be my favorite character actually. Now, there was actually a funny excerpt about him on page 42, so I'm gonna flip to that really quick. All right, all right, so now Bull, he's very colorful. He's always got something to say about someone. He's just like, listen to this, okay? And he's jumping down the throat of more or less the fact that there's a misinterpretation of him, and he's just so hot-headed, more or less. And so I really like him. And then there was another one close to the back here that I really liked. It was on page 142. He said, Terry, I'm gonna see Chief Riggs. Leonard has some damn idea he wants to tell me about, so I'll be out of the county for a while. But she's just so snippy. He's just so colorful. So he's actually my favorite character, so I really like that, Cheryl. Now, the attention getter in the book, in the beginning, it was a really nice one. I found myself being concerned about the character Golfer being attacked. I think I'm saying his name correctly, Golfer. But for some reason I didn't even know him like that, and I'm immediately having that instance and that strong worry for him. So great attention getter to that book here. Now, in the first 10 pages and my thoughts, I'm impressed by the author's words. She is very talented. She's very creative, and after reading just up until page 4, I got a really good feel for her style of writing, which is casual, not complex, and based on the layout and professionalism, I foresaw that this would be a really good read. Y'all, Kentbury is small, all right? Now, the author said that in about an hour, you've covered it. That's how small this town is. Some other highlights that I noticed. Now the author is very detailed. She spent a lot of time on the setting, showing that, you know, she would love her readers to be immersed. Now, one thing Miss Cheryl is going to do is she's going to have you see, okay, everything. All right, if there is a piece of black lint on black carpet, you will see that lint. That's how detailed she is. Now, the initial suspense, of course, was noteworthy in our main character, Terry. Now, he is battling PTSD, which stands for post-traumatic stress disorder. And that shows. Now, he was a war veteran, and it goes day to day, avoiding anything having him reminded of the bad memories of the war, yet he's a deputy. And I find that very ironic because he's going to see some gruesome scenes all of the time doing that line of business, but then you have to go back and check the town that they lived in, Kentbury. That town really was off the map. So it was one of those locations that they didn't see activity. Okay, y'all know about the small town scenes. Now, I like how there is a healthy narration within, before and after the dialogue. That's always my favorite. It's good to do so when the conversation is going along so it doesn't grow dull. Now, the main character, Terry, okay, he gets sidetracked all of the time. He's thinking naughty thoughts, but okay, it's a good thing that he thinks those naughty thoughts often about his wife, Joyce. Now, every time they're having a hookup, as the author describes, on a daily basis. Now, overall, it was easy to read, had a nice flow, very few typographical errors. Now, I like how the author switched to Terry's memory. Now, this happened on page 15. Now, this memory here, she actually flipped it, and get that close here. Now, you can see that it changed to italics. All right, so she actually used italics. I read that here. He was embarrassed and there was no one to see, but he was ashamed of his fear. The italics: deep gulps of air, Joyce's face, Corporal Teleski with his head blown off. That's gruesome. Burnt corpses lying in his head, Joyce's face. So we switch back to that. And so she wanted to, and we're referring to Cheryl, wanted to ensure that the memory was separate from the narration that was going on, so it stood out and it popped. Now, you're going to experience every memory and just be in tune with the characters and what they are thinking. Cheryl did research. I'm not showing any evidence of her not doing so prior to speaking about a particular subject. There was doable syntax and appropriate sentence structure. My suspicion...